yarn lovers! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet these super cute little gift bags. Now I've made these ones in some Christmas festive colours, but you could crochet them in any colours you like depending on what season you want to use the gift bags for. So the gift bags have got these little drawstrings here to close and you simply pull the strings to close the bag, and I popped on a little festive button here as well. If you like these and want to use these buttons for your own gift bags, I have added them to my Amazon store. There is an affiliate link, so I do get commission if you purchase through my link. So I have added these, so if you want to get these for yourself you can do that. I believe I also have these little beads that I've used in my store as well. I will check to make sure. Okay, to make your gift bags you're going to need some cotton yarn in two different colours. I've used Yarn Smith's cotton double knit. I think this is probably my new favourite yarn. I love their cotton. They've got so many different colours. You're also going to need a 3.5mm hook, some scissors, a darning needle. You'll need some little beads for your ties and maybe a button if you want to add any embellishments, and you're also going to need 2 stitch markers. I recommend using 2 different colours for your stitch markers. You'll find out why. Okay, let's go with pink and green. There we go. Okay, so once you've got all your materials together, we're ready to get started. So whichever colour you want to be the main colour. So for this bag I used red as the main colour. We're going to start off with the main colour and then you finish the bag off with the main colour, and then just going to alternate in rounds. We're actually going to be working in helix stripes for this, so if you've never done helix stripes before, it can be a little bit intimidating, but honestly if you just follow along the video you'll be fine. So we're going to start with the main colour. So for this one I'm going to do red again, and I'm going to alternate with this. What colour is this? Robin's egg. I think it's a nice kind of vintage Christmassy kind of colours. Okay, so I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook, and I'm going to chain 25. So I've got my 25 chains, and we're going to start by turning our chain over, and we're going to be working into these little bumps on the back. So we're looking from the second chain from the hook. So this is the first one and this is the second. We're going to put a single crochet in there, and I'm going to go ahead and put a single crochet in each stitch all the way along. So you go ahead and do that, and then I'll meet you back when we're ready to work across the other side. So I've worked all the way along the chain with the single crochet in each stitch, and in this very last stitch I'm going to add an extra single crochet. This is just to help turn us around the corner, and I'm going to work over this tail as I go as well. So that's one single crochet and an extra one into that last stitch. We're now going to start working across the underside of our foundation chain. So I'm now going to start putting a single crochet into each stitch across and work over that tail as you go. Then you can just snip that off once we've gone all the way across. Now it can be a bit tricky getting into these stitches because we've worked into the back bumps. It does make the stitches a bit tighter, but this means you're going to get a really nice tight seam at the bottom of your bag. So we're just working across with single crochet in each stitch. So I've worked all the way across. Now this last stitch here, this is where we've got our first single crochet stitch. So I'm going to add another single crochet into that same stitch just to help us get around that corner. Now I'm not going to join to that first stitch. We're not going to join in the round because we're going to be working into a spiral. So we're ready to start round 2. We're going to continue with the main colour and we're going to be working in wattle stitch. So wattle stitch, we're going to put a single crochet, a chain 1 and a double crochet all into the same stitch. So we put a single crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet. all into that first stitch. We're now going to place our first stitch marker, and we want to put the marker in the chain 1 space, right in there. So for wattle stitch, we've got a single crochet, a chain 1 and a double crochet all into the same stitch. And then we're going to miss the next 2 stitches. So skip 2, and then we're going to put our wattle stitch into the next stitch. That's single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 2, in the next stitch, single crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet. So we're going to continue around in wattle stitch, skipping 2 stitches, then a single crochet, a chain 1 and a double crochet, and we're going to keep going around until we've worked across half of the round. Skip 2, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 2, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and so on. So we're coming up to be about halfway around. So if I skip 2, I'm going to put my last wattle stitch in this colour in this stitch here. So skip 2, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now we're going to be doing helix stripes, so we're not going to fasten off this colour and we're not going to swap to a different colour. We're just going to make that loop a bit longer so that it doesn't come undone, and then we're going to start with the next colour. If I can find the end. Where is it? So I'm just going to put a single crochet on my hook, so we're going to continue around with this colour. So we're going to follow the pattern. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then in the following stitch we're going to put our wattle stitch, which is a single crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet, and we're going to place our second marker in this first stitch of this new colour. So we're going to put our marker in the chain 1 space of this first group of stitches. Now we're going to continue around in our wattle stitch pattern. So skip 2, in the next stitch, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So we're just going to keep going all the way around until we get to our first marker, until we get back to that first marker. So you need to remember the green marker, this denotes the beginning of the round, and this is halfway around where you're changing colours. So skip 2, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 2, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So we're just going to continue till we get back to that marker. And as you're going around the corner, you might have to just kind of like poke the crochet so it starts to turn over and forms that bottom edge. So we've come to the end of the round now. This is our first stitch here, so we've got skipped 2 stitches, and then this is our first chain 1 space. We're now going to only be working our wattle stitches into those chain 1 spaces. So we're going to continue with this colour. So in this chain space where you have the marker, we're going to put single crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet, and we're going to move this marker into this first stitch. Just going to pop it into that chain 1 space. There we go. And now we're going to carry on with round 2, and we're going to work across in wattle stitch. So we're now looking just for those chain one spaces. So here we can see we had a single crochet, chain one, double crochet. So we're going straight into that chain space, single crochet, chain one, double crochet. And as you can see, this is just starting to form that seam across the bottom. So we're now going to be working across in exactly the same way with our wattle stitch in each chain one space. So you're just going to keep working across until you run out of stitches to work into. I know this might sound a bit weird, but as you crochet along, you will see what I mean. So we've just got a couple more of our groups of stitches to work into. We're almost at the end of our workable stitches in the red. As you can see, this here is the last wattle stitch we did before we changed colour. So I like to just kind of like hold that stitch so that the loop doesn't come out, and we're going to put our last single crochet, chain one and double crochet in there. And now we can't go any further because we've run out of stitches to work into. So we're simply going to elongate that loop so we don't lose that. You can, if you want to, put an extra stitch marker in there. And we're now just going to put a hook back into the red, pull that yarn tight around our hook, and now we're looking for this first stitch to work into, which is where we got our stitch marker here. So here's where we're skipping 2 stitches and then putting our wattle stitch in here, single crochet, chain one, double crochet, and we need to move that stitch marker up now. Let's just poke that the right way around. So we're just going to put our marker in that chain one space. And then we're going to continue around. We're now working across the green stitches from the previous row. So again, just looking for that chain one space. So we're going straight in here, single crochet, chain one, and double crochet. And this is what you're going to repeat now. You're just going to keep going round and round. Adding your helix stripes to your work. So we're going to keep going with the red until we get to our first marker. So you can see it's kind of bent over now. Just find that stitch there, single crochet, chain one, double crochet, and now we're back to our beginning again. We're back to our first marker. So as you can see, we're going to now continue with the red across until we run out of stitches to work into. So this is the beginning of round 3. So we're going to put our first group of stitches into this first chain one space. So it's single crochet, chain one, double crochet, and don't forget you always need to move your marker up every round. So we're just going to move that to that chain one space. And then you can continue in wattle stitch until you run out of stitches to work into. You will work your last stitch into this group here in this chain space, and then you'll switch back to this colour. Just pull the yarn tight on your hook and put your first group of stitches in here. Move your marker up and continue working across. And you're going to continue like this for a total of 16. So you need to work a total of 16 rounds in wattle stitch. Okay, so I've worked around and I've got 16 rows in the wattle, 16 rounds in the wattle stitch, and I'll just show you how you can count, how you know where to count from. So we're going to count our rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So your main colour is ending just before your second marker, and your contrast colour is ending just before your first marker. So you can count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 rounds. Now we don't want our contrast colour to finish in the middle of our little bag, because it'll be like a big jump when the red carries on from there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to work across until we get to the side, and it's going to be a lot less noticeable there. So we're going to carry on with our wattle stitch, so into the next stitch, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We can actually remove this marker now. And we're going to do our wattle stitch into the next 2 chain 1 spaces as well. Now we need to kind of get our work to get to the same height as this row, this round, the previous round. So in the next chain 1 space, we're going to single crochet, chain 1 and single crochet. And then into the next chain 1 space, we're just going to do a slip stitch. And then we can fasten off your contrast colour. Let's just poke that end inside for now. I'll weave that in later. So now we're just going to be working with our main colour. So we're now going to work 3 more rounds in wattle stitch just in the main colour. So you're just going to work around as before, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet into each chain 1 space. So we're going to move our marker up again. And keep working it around. So you go ahead and do your 3 more rounds of wattle stitch, and I'll meet you back when we're ready to finish off and add our ties. So I'm just coming up to where we ended our contrast colour. Just going to show you how to work across that. So here we've got the single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. So we're just going to put our wattle stitch in that chain 1 space. And then we're going to move on to the next space where we've got our slip stitch, and we're just going to work over the top of that with our wattle stitch. That's single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then just continue around until you've worked a total of 3 extra rounds. So I've added my extra 3 rounds in the wattle stitch, and just like we did with the contrast colour, we want to finish at the side of our work. So I'm just going to remove this stitch marker. And in the next 2 chain 1 spaces, I'm going to carry on with our wattle stitch. And in the next chain 1 space, I am going to put single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, just like we did on the other side. And then I'm going to join with a slip stitch to this next single crochet stitch and then fasten off. So at this point you can weave in all those ends. The pouch is finished. We just need to now crochet our ties. So I'm just going to leave those inside there for now. Now I recommend you use a smaller hook for your ties. I would go for a 3mm or 2.5mm. You just need to be able to get your ties through the aperture of the bead you're going to be using. So it's a good idea to use a smaller hook. So I'm just going to use my contrast colour to make the ties. So you're just going to put a slip knot on your hook. And then chain as many chains as you need to be able to go twice the width of your pouch with a little bit left over. So I've made a total of 90 chains. So if you fold it in half and you measure across your pouch, and I've got just enough there to add the beads and tie a little knot on the end. So you need to go ahead and make another one exactly the same as this. So I'm just going to fasten off this one. Make sure you fasten off securely. Now I'm going to show you how you're going to weave this through your project. So I would add it to a darning needle, just thread the end on. Like so. Now you want to start at the side, so you want, let's have a look here, you want both ends of one cord to come out on the same side. So you're going to go all the way around, weaving in and out of the stitches, and have both of your ends coming out on this side, and then you're going to do exactly the same with the other one but the opposite way around, starting from the other side. So we're just going to have a look somewhere in the middle. Let's say here is probably a good place for it to come out. So you're just going to go in and out where you see the natural kind of gaps in the stitches. Then you can just pull that through, leaving that bit hanging out at the end, and just going to keep going around. Till you get back to where you started from. So I want to come out here, so I'm just going to go in there and then out here. Like so. We're then going to, should have left that on there. Thread this through our beads. So just take your bead, one side through, and you should be able to pull, and the crochet cord will come through as well. And you're going to do that with both of these, both ends. There we go. And then you want to just tie a knot. To stop the bead from coming off the bottom. If you put a needle inside the knot, it can help you move the knot to the end, because you want to try and get it right at the end. And just kind of pull that down, pull it tight. And then you can trim off these ends. Don't trim them too close because you don't want them to unravel. And there you have your first tie. So you're going to make another one exactly the same, and this time you're just going to start on this side and do exactly the same, thread it through, and then once you've got both your ties, when you pull them, your pouch closes. And you can pop on a little decorative button if you would like. You can put I don't know, different buttons on, decorate it however you like. Well, if you're looking for more festive makes, then check out my Christmas playlist next. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye now.